Hello friends and welcome back to another video. Today we are finally going to proceed with the installation of some distributions that I personally believe are more user-friendly and oriented to somebody who wants to freshly convert from Windows. Uh, as per the norm, want I would like to kindly ask you to please consider whitelisting my channel for ads and to like, subscribe, comment, and engage generally with these videos to help with the viewership. Thank you in advance for all of your continued support. You guys are amazing. So, currently we have the computer over here that's from the last video where we installed Windows 11 on unsupported hardware. It is still a viable device, and this is what we're going to use to install our Linux distributions. The first distribution that I'm going to be talking about is the Linux Mint Ubuntu edition, or Linux Mint 22.1 as of today's date, which is August 25. And what we're going to do is we're going to install the primary edition, the main edition, which I believe is GNOME, and then we're just going to gloss over, not GNOME, Cinnamon, I apologize. And then we're going to just gloss over a more lower spec friendly edition. Well, it's not really a different edition, it's just a different desktop environment. In generally just how it looks, but it's the exact same in operation. And we're just gonna gloss over it, and we're gonna mention a couple things in case you might be interested in running that for lower base hardware. So we have Rufus, our utility that we're gonna burn our USB stick with, and we're just going to grab Linux Mint 22 Cinnamon 64-bit ISO. For the settings that I'm going to use, I'm just going to swap the partition scheme from NVR to GPT, and the target system is automatically going to populate as TF5. Once that is completed, I'm going to start. And once Rufus is done burning our USB stick, we're going to transfer over to the target machine, and we're going to talk about the installation. So whenever you have this option, whether or not you want to install into ISO or DD mode, ideally speaking, the most recommended one is always going to be ISO mode. But then most of the time you're going to be prompted a second time whether or not you download updated MBR. So for the updated MBR files, it is recommended that you do not download it, because sometimes it does break the installation. But in this case, in scenarios like this where you do not get prompted for it, you don't have to worry about it. Just let it complete, and then we'll be on to the next step of the process. The boot process is not something overly complicated. For those of you that are curious, the BIOS settings are pretty straightforward and something that can be considered default on pretty much any modern desktop or laptop that you can find on the market. Currently, the settings are UEFI boot is enabled, and secure boots is also enabled, and I think it's enforced by TPM. I believe I think I set it back to normal, so we're just gonna go with that. In either case, Linux Mint works totally fine with both secure boot and not secure boot, and just plain old UEFI. So you don't have to worry about that. In kind of like the Linux world, secure boot doesn't have that much of an effect for home use, especially if you're in a heavily regulated environment. Then yes, you would want to enforce it. But if you are using it for home purposes, you don't really need it. You could straight off turn off secure boot altogether and just have fun with it that way. All right, so let's go through the installation process together. If you have a little bit of Linux experience, and by a little bit I really mean even if it's a little bit, if you have watched any other YouTube tutorial, then you would be kind of familiar with the installation. But let's go over it together anyway. This is the operating system. This is the Cinnamon desktop environment. It's as you can see, it's flashy. It got random effects, or sorry, pretty integrated effects. And it comes with some software that is pre-integrated. So you have your web browser, just like you would in Windows. You have your Office suite. You have the utility, and it's on its own. It's essentially a ready-to-go distribution or operating system, if you want to call it that. So, if the automatic installer doesn't start by its own on its own, you go ahead and double-click or click plus enter the install Linux Mint icon up in the top left corner. And it is a little slow because we are booting from a USB stick, but don't worry about that. Once the operating system is installed, it's going to take advantage of the SSD speed. So select your language, click on continue. Select your keyboard layout with any of the dialects, I suppose, or any of the custom keyboard layouts, and then click on continue. Click on install multimedia codecs and configure secure boot. Over here, don't get confused. This is not yet your actual secure boot environment. This is just something to install all the proprietary drivers that come for multimedia codecs. So put a one-time password that you're going to remember. So let's put password 1 exclamation point. And again, this is only going to be a one-time use password that is no longer going to be valid or required once you enroll your certificate. Go ahead and click on continue after that. So now you have several options. You can install it alongside Windows. You can erase the drive and install Linux Mint all on its own, or you can do something else with it. Something else is for the it takes you to the advanced disk partitioner. So if you're not sure, don't worry about it. If you want to keep Windows, go ahead and select the first option. But if you want to completely erase Windows and have Linux Mint as the only operating system, go ahead and select the second option and click on install. Now, it's going to prompt you with a confirmation dialog box saying if you continue, the changes listed below will be written to the disk. Otherwise, you will be able to make further changes manually. Warning, this will destroy all data on any partitions you have removed, as well as on the partitions that are going to be formatted. And again, it's just a summary confirming that you have selected to erase the whole disk and install Linux Mint. So let's go ahead and do that right now. It's going to ask you for a time zone. Go ahead and select your time zone. And this is where you are going to add the first little bit of customization. So let's go ahead and call this Bob. My name is Bob. So under computer name, this is um, what it does is it appends the username to the front of the whole string, and then it adds manufacturer with model and submodel or whatever. If you have some type of naming convention at home, for example, Bob's desktop, right? You can't use spaces. Go ahead and create it right now, like that. But for me, this is how I recommend it. Your username is your username, so whatever you want it to be. Usually, it just takes your name and puts it in lowercase. Yeah, just the first part of it. And then for password, this is where you are going to put an actual password for your system. If you want your computer to log you in automatically, go ahead and select on the login automatically radio button. Otherwise, leave it as require my password to log in. Encrypt my home folder is not really required. If you're feeling a little paranoid about your data, you can go ahead and collect it, but for a home environment, it's not really necessary. Once you have finished all the settings that you want to customize, go ahead and click on finish and let the installation process complete. Once it's ready to boot into the operating system, we will continue. And the moment you get installation complete, that is when you're able to restart your computer and boot into the freshly installed Linux Mint Cinnamon and start using it. I was timing it, and it just took barely over 10 minutes for the operating system to install with all the updates as it was connected to the internet during the installation process. So on its own, that kind of beats, more or less, it beats Windows 10 and Windows 11's upwards of 30-45 minutes installation process, which in the long run it has improved a little bit, but it's still a crazy amount of time, in my opinion anyways, that you would spend installing an operating system. Whereas Linux Mint, like I said, even with the explanation process, it took 10 minutes to install. So let's go ahead and restart, and we're going to go through the process of enrolling our Secure Boot certificate for those of you that are interested. And if you don't have Secure Boot enabled, you can just go ahead and skip this step entirely. Let's go ahead and restart. It even enrolled it for us. And there you are. You are booted into Once you log in, you are going to be fully booted into your new Linux Mint installation deployment. And there are a few things to do to kind of improve the experience that you're going to have. So let's go ahead and do that right now, very quickly. And it's going to kind of complete this video. So the first thing that we're going to do is install uBlock Origin into Firefox, which is a browser-based blocker for ads and potentially unwanted programs. So you're not going to be seeing any of those your computer has been hacked or whatever little block advertisements that are going to potentially throw you off. And the next thing that we're going to install is H264FI. And that's, if you type it into Google, H264FI, click on the third link, add it to Firefox. And what this application does is it forcefully changes the format that videos on YouTube are being played, so that it uses overall less system resources from the system itself, so that leaves more of your computer available to you. So let's go ahead and see if we can you know what, Tyler 1, why not? Let's go ahead and see. It's 720p. Let's go ahead and up it to 1080p. There you go, 1080p. And as you can see, it's actually pretty good. Oh, that's not Tyler 1, I apologize, that's Jinxie. Let's see if we can get the system monitor up and just observe a little bit of the system usage. Memory, it's I'm actually kind of surprised that it's even taking that much RAM, 2.5 gigs. But the CPU is barely breaking a sweat, so that's pretty good. And let's see. Yeah, so you might want to run, or ideally you would like to run the automatic updater, just in case there has been anything that was missed. Like for example, the update manager itself still needs to get updated. Oh wow, look at that, 143. Let's run it just so you guys can see how quick it is to install the updates and take care of it. I did read somewhere that it's also possible to get automatic updates set for your system. I don't remember exactly how to do it. I will do a little bit of research and post it as an addendum, as a secondary video, sorry. And we're gonna go from there. So, if for whatever reason updates did not end up being performed during the installation process, just go ahead and update, and just to have the latest security fixes, the latest features that come with all the software. For example, Firefox is going to get updated to, I believe, 134 or whatever it's at right now. If you are one of those individuals that absolutely must have Microsoft Edge, now Microsoft Edge is available in Debian package format, I believe. I hope I'm not speaking out of my ass, but let's go ahead and verify that. Microsoft Edge Debian. Let's see. There we go. So just go on to download Microsoft Edge as primary webpage, and then you're going to see it as almost like a footnote. Microsoft Edge is available on Linux. Download for Linux. It's going to download the Debian package. Now that's completely optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but we're just going to go through the process for those who do. Once you download it, I won't run it right away because the update packages, the update process is still going. But as soon as this is done, we're just going to go through the process of installing Microsoft Edge as well. And this is pretty much it. You don't have to install drivers because everything is kind of pre-integrated into the system. If you have a NVIDIA's graphics card, it gets a little bit more complicated and involved. I have a NVIDIA graphics card that I am going to play around with, and we're going to load NVIDIA drivers, sign them with the kernel, or sign the kernel, and we're going to do that a little bit further down the line for those of you who are interested in utilizing the proprietary drivers. But for the moment, I am running this off of a mini PC, so I don't really have the choice of, I don't have the option of slapping the graphics card inside of the system to show you guys the process. But it's not very difficult. It's really quick. It's really it's not very involved either. It's about 5-10 minutes of work and a couple of lines. And once you sign your kernel, your drivers are going to load, and you're going to take advantage of all the proprietary features that normally come with an NVIDIA card. And I'm going to do that on a 1080 Ti, which was my old gaming graphics card. For those of you, however, that have an AMD graphics card, you don't have anything that you need to do because the drivers are loaded the open source drivers are automatically loaded. Therefore, you don't have to worry about kernel signature. You don't have to worry about proprietary drivers. You just load it up and play. Oh, one thing that I forgot to mention as well is for those of you who actually end up installing this for gaming, there are two ways of how you could approach this. You can grab Steam from store.steampower.com, or you could grab it from the application store. I want to see where it is. There you go, from the software manager. Software manager is another, it's kind of like the Windows Store, where it's got, well, both yes and no. Just allow me to explain. Basically what it is, it's a graphical representation of you using the terminal and entering the command by yourself. So for example, if you want to type in, if in the software manager you just try to locate Steam, basically what it is you're doing, it's a graphical representation of you typing app get install Steam latest or whatever it is, which is just as easy to do. It's not the end of the world. So let's go ahead. We're not going to do it through the software manager, even though you can if you want to. We are going to do it through the terminal. You guys don't have to do it from the terminal if you don't want to get confused, but that's okay. Let's see, we're good. Restart it. So you don't have to do it through the terminal if you don't want to, and that's totally okay. But we're just going to finalize with Microsoft Edge and Steam. just so that we can kind of complete um, the um, the process. And I'm sure that maybe you yourself, your partner, your children, if any, would appreciate having a kind of like a distraction on the computer to have whenever they sit down and use it. Oh, this is already close to a 30 minute video, so we're not gonna lose too much time. Alright. Alright, we are booted back up into the operating system. So let's open our download folder and open the terminal. So in the terminal, you have something called elevated privileges, or sorry, not elevated privileges. I'm not thinking about elevated privileges. My apologies. So you have two users. You have the user that you created through the installer throughout the process, and then you have the root user, ROOT. The root user is basically the all-powerful user that has complete and unaltered access to the deepest parts of the operating system. When you are installing any type of program, do not run it as a user or as a root user. What I would like you to do and get used to doing is I want you to run installer files and applications as yourself. So for example, as you can see, right now I'm logged in as Bob into the mini PC. So let's go ahead and just grab the icon of one of our installers and drag it into the terminal. And click, oh, what? Permission denied, hold on. Right, I forgot to mention, I apologize about that. I'm a little disorganized because my thoughts are scattered all over the place. Whenever you download an installer from the internet, it's not going to automatically be allowed to be executed as a program. What you want to do is you want to right click on the installer file, go click on properties, under permission, you want to give it the execute check mark, which is going to allow executing the file as a program. And then once you drag it into the terminal and click enter, it should start executing the package, or sorry, running the package. And it's going to tell you Microsoft, the web browser from Microsoft is going to give a brief description of the software that you're trying to install, if it's available, and you're going to have two options. You're going to be able to see the included files, which are all of those. It shows you the file structure of what's installed where, and then you're going to have the box to just install the package. So go ahead and click on install package, and then it's going to prompt you for your password. And this is what's called the elevated privileges mode, where you are still running it as yourself, but you are requesting elevated privileges from the system to still run it as, in this case, it's going to be still being ran as Bob, rather than the root user. Just for security reasons and security purposes, try to avoid running things as the root user, simply because they're just, if it's required to be ran by the root user, then it's, you have reached a fairly late point of troubleshooting. Now that the installation of Microsoft Edge is complete, you have Microsoft Edge onto your onto your Debian machine. Now we're going to do the same with Steam. Allow executing files of the program, close, drag it into what is this? Okay, never mind. So let's just double click it. Yes. And let's install Steam as well. Now, for Steam, it was very quick, but that's because Steam needs to go through an update of itself. So internally speaking, we're just gonna wait for it to do that, and as soon as it's done, I will consider this video as complete. Yes. Don't let this scare you. This is just a visualization of what it does in the background. You don't have the same thing in Windows, but it does the same type of work in Windows. It still moves, copies, creates files. It's just in Windows you don't see it. In Linux you do see it. It's not something to be worried about. If you trust the program, just let it complete its process, and then have fun using it. Just waiting for let's go. Okay, so it is working on it. And there you go. There is your Steam application ready to log you in with your credentials. That being said, I am going to stop right here because this is only supposed to be getting set up with Linux Mint. In further videos, I will go further into the process. It's something that I will also do with Debian, Ubuntu, Zorin OS. There's a bunch of what I think are user-friendly distributions for beginners that I'm going to go through, and we're just basically gonna do this. We're gonna get set up with Microsoft Edge, we're gonna get set with Firefox. We're gonna install the ad blocker, H264 We're gonna install Steam, and Like I said, you don't need anything office related because you already have LibreOffice integrated into the system, and ready for use. You have a writer, you have a spreadsheet, you have a what is it? What else is there? Kind of like a um, PowerPoint presentation. You have a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of utilities that can be used. It's also very extensive into the customization area where you can truly make it yours, and that's pretty much it, right? Like, I'm not gonna go too deep into a particular thing because there's just so many options. The choices are so vast of what you can do and how you can do it. So there are so many ways for you to make it truly yours. Um, so dig through the settings, have a look. Don't be afraid. It's That's all that it is. The installation process only took 10-11 minutes, and then everything was just me blabbing about how you can do a certain thing. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for joining into this discovery into the Linux world. I know it's been a long time coming. I apologize. As you can see, I don't even have the camera. A couple of updates ended up breaking it. I'm still working on finding proper alternatives to all the software that I use onto my main rig, which is why I'm still using Windows to edit my video files, to do the recording. Um, my sound card still is sadly Windows only. It doesn't work under Linux, and that's something that I'm still trying to find an alternative to. I'm trying to find a Linux friendly audio card, and I will get around to it. It's a slow process. It's not something that can happen overnight, but I will get there. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being consistent. Thank you very much for watching, for commenting, interacting with the videos. And again, I would really appreciate it if you guys could whitelist the channel with ads to continue helping me grow. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. Leave a like if you liked it. Leave a dislike if you disliked it. Call me a knucklehead in the comments. Just help yourself. This is supposed to be a welcoming channel to teach you new things that you could be discovering. And I really hope that with my videos, I make you feel welcome. My objective is to slowly but surely teach you at least one thing. And if I can do that, I am very happy. Thank you very much again, and I will see you all in the next one.